You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
US Cellular has noticed the way we use our phones has gotten ironic. We try to put our phones down for dinner, but the menu's on a QR code. That's ironic. We hit like on social posts that we don't actually like, which is ironic. Which is why US Cellular created Us Mode, to help us reconnect with each other and use our phones less ironically. A phone company wanting people to use their phones less is ironic. Let's find us again with Us Mode from US Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/built-for-us to get started.
When it comes to towing, seeing is believing. That's why Chevy Truck's advanced camera technology offers up to 8 available cameras for 14 unique views, so you can focus on the view that really matters. Chevrolet, together let's drive. Learn more about Chevy Trucks at Chevy.com. Safety or driver assistance features are no substitute for the driver's responsibility to operate the vehicle in a safe manner. Read the vehicle owner's manual for important feature limitations and information.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Packernet Podcast. I am your host and resident fanalist, as always, Ryan Schlip. Check us out online, packernet.com. Find me on Twitter, pack_daddy. Well, let's not waste any time, shall we? We've got our final day of training camp for the week until the big preseason game. Let me just pull this up real quick so I can look at it. Just as a quick refresher, the remainder of the off-season schedule, and we probably don't have to go through everything, but today for me anyways is the 7th, so we have our 10:30 practice. The 8th and 9th, there will be no practice, and then we have Saturday the 10th, Cleveland Browns. Packers are playing away in Cleveland against the Cleveland Browns. That is a 3:25 game Central Time. I'm assuming this is put in Central Time. Planning on doing a live stream, by the way. Cullen and I will be on here. We have to do it because he already promised his friends. I swear, everybody, it's being taken over by young kids. I got my nephew, who's about my son's age, who's watching. My son's got all his buddies watching. It's going to be, what generation even is that, by the way? I don't even know. I saw like a TikTok thing where Gen Z was trying to have a conversation with, I think it's called like Generation Alpha. And man, the lingo, I don't know if it's made up or what, but they have this whole lingo thing, and Gen Z couldn't keep up with it, and he was like freaking out, like, oh crap, am I old now? It's pretty funny. I say that it's funny because these are the people that made fun of us for being old and not being able to keep, now it's like, yeah, it happens to all of us, Jagoff, so congratulations. Now you get to be the one saying, that's stupid, why would anyone say those stupid words? It's like, yeah, we had to put up with you for a long time, and you're stupid bull crap. So yeah, I guess Generation Alpha are kids born between 2010 and 2020, which is technically all three of my youngest kids, because my youngest was born in 2020. It's funny because I think about it, I'm like, well, these kids aren't even old enough to have like, lingo, and it's like, oh wait, 2010, that would be 14 years old. Yeah, that's right in that sweet spot where, young boys especially start saying stupid crap. Can't wait for my son to start. I'm going to just absolutely wallop him. Hilariously, there isn't a agreed upon name for after Alpha, but there is some proposed names of Generation Beta, which is freaking hilarious. Do you know how much Generation Alpha is going to make fun of the next generation for being Beta, especially when you are Alpha? That's freaking hilarious. That's awesome. And I will encourage my son to do so. All right. Talking to him for, bro. It's a Beta. We don't talk to that dude. Oh, it's a joke, people. Freaking lighten up, my lord. All right. Let's go ahead and get started with the Packers stuff. We'll start with Matt LaFleur. Obviously, the most important thing, Jordan Morgan dropped out yesterday. Didn't get to hear anything about it. Matt LaFleur says Jordan Morgan has a shoulder injury. He'll be out for a week or so, nothing long term. We know how that goes. A week or so. I mean, I'm guessing that doesn't mean less than a week. You know what I mean? A week or so probably means a week is the fastest that he'd be back. Or so meaning maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. We'll see. It's not great for a guy that really needs reps at guard because he's our presumed starting right guard. But it is a really good opportunity for Sean Ryan to get some much needed reps Because if for no other reason, we have no depth. And it would be good for Sean Ryan to be the best he can possibly be. Be all that you can be, Sean Ryan. Let's see. Matt LaFleur says he's going to be careful with Quay. That's all I got. I don't know the context of that, but it does suck, by the way, going back to Jordan Morgan, because Morgan obviously is not going to play in this preseason game. Zach Tom is not going to play in this preseason game. Jordan Love is going to play in this preseason game. So that's garbage. That is freaking rough, dude. If we lose like Myers or Elton or Rashid, I think we need to pull Jordan. That's all I'm saying. If that happens over the next day or two, or I guess today, I doubt they're doing any actual practice, maybe behind the scenes. I don't know. Bottom line is, no bueno. Talking about Zach Tom, he says he looked better than I would have expected missing that much time. He was moving people off the line of scrimmage, both in the run and pass game. That's what you want to hear from your premier tackle. Again, I wouldn't put Zach Tom on the Bakhtiari tier, but he is a very good tackle. And, when you're talking what would you call him? A high-level starter, that's kind of the news that you want to hear. He comes back from injury. He's already better than a lot of the guys, so that's good to hear. Talking about Josh Jacobs, he says he hit some speeds yesterday that were exciting to see. He's just a tough, rugged runner. It is kind of cool because I'm guessing that maybe he's just speaking off the cuff, going back and watching the tape or whatever, but I know they have the ability to actually monitor real speeds. I don't know if they use that for these kinds of camps or whatever, but be interesting to know if that's being used and what he meant by that. He also talks about Carrington, Valentine, and Edgerrin Cooper. Says they're not quite ready for practice yet. Sounds like they will probably be back by next week. Certainly not going to be in the first preseason game. Matt said no real concerns with the hamstring injuries to start camp, so they'll continue to try to mitigate it as much as possible, but it is part of the process in NFL training camps. Please just don't start jinxing stuff for the sake of jinxing it. Matt LaFleur on yesterday's kicking period, he says it was like kicking into a tornado. Very rarely will it ever be that windy in any stadium we'll play in. And again, that's, we look at the kicking numbers, and again, Anders had his one bad day. This was his second bad day, and Matt LaFleur has basically thrown it in the garbage, like this day doesn't count, right? Greg Joseph also had a bad day. So if you just kind of discount this day, because it doesn't, I understand that these are NFL conditions, but there's a big difference between trying to gauge how good of a job Anders Carlson is doing generally and comparing apples and oranges, where Anders' ability to kick a 50-yarder into a tornado and some guy that kicks in a dome every day, right? Well, that guy's better. Oh, shut up. Javon Bullard has taken the number one safety snaps the past few days, but Matt LaFleur says that will continue to be rotated. Zach Cruz has some quotes here going back to Josh Jacobs, some quotes that Matt LaFleur used to describe him. He can do it all. He's got great hands. He hit some speeds yesterday that were exciting to see. Tough, rugged runner. He's a punishing runner. So it's funny to hear that, because you can tell when coaches get excited about guys, they just start dropping all their favorite things about them. They got a ton of quotes. That's the thing, whether they're being specific or being very general. If they're being general, they're probably just lying. Like, well, he can do some things. He's got to work on some things, and we're just trying to get there. But he's a talented, gifted human that does things, and we're excited about things. That means you don't think that they're very good at anything, is what that means. Talking about Tyron Hopper, he says, yesterday I thought was probably one of his best days. I thought he responded really well. I don't think I came into this with lower expectations for anybody than Tyron Hopper. He just felt like, once every year or two, the Packers draft a guy that you look at, and they check every this guy's going to suck box, right? Third-round pick, linebacker, horrible PFF grades. The only thing they have going is really high athleticism, massive reach compared to the consensus big board. Just everything about it says I'm not even going to get slightly invested in this, because this guy's going to be garbage. And to be fair, I still lean on that side of things. But he's only had positive notes that I've seen. Now, granted, there's not a lot of opportunities for terrible notes. Possible he's doing wrong things that just aren't getting reported. But the few that we've heard, especially yesterday, have been extremely positive. So I think it's a massive uphill battle because you've got 4 guys that are firmly ahead of him. But, even if we call this a redshirt year with some outside potential due to injuries that he comes in and plays, it'll be interesting to see the progression. It'll certainly be interesting to see in the preseason. I'm going to be wanting to keep an eye on him. Of course, we'll be looking at PFF and everything else, but I'm color me intrigued. All right, let's put it that way. It's noted at the very beginning of practice, kicker Alex Hale is out on the field. He was recently in for a workout. Undrafted free agent from Oklahoma State. This is all via Paul Brettel. Thanks to him, I have this nice and easy without having to look it up. Hale was 43 of 54 in his career, including 9 of 16 from the 40 to 49 and 3 of 4 from 50 plus. Corresponding roster move will have to be made to make room. Packers back at 3 kickers. So, certainly giving some guys some extra competition, kind of putting some feet to fires, et cetera, et cetera. Does it change my position on anything? Absolutely not. I think this is very much, they mentioned there needs to be a corresponding move out there. I have a feeling the corresponding move was already made. I think they get to a point where somebody they realize is done, and then they look out there, especially at undrafted free agents, the guys that they liked in the process that are suddenly becoming available, and they're like, all right, let's go grab that guy. I think it has less to do with we really need a kicker and more to do with I would really love to get him in here and see what he can do. And, because we have an open spot now because we know we're getting rid of this guy. Quay Walker does start practice with his helmet and pads on. Don't know if he's practicing yet. Starting offense and defense in walkthroughs, you got Love, Jacobs, Dobbs, Melton, DeBose. That's certainly different. Tucker Kraft is the tight end. I suppose, you got certain guys like Kraft that are probably not going to be doing anything outside of walkthroughs. Why not give them the opportunity? Walker, Elton Jenkins, Myers, and then Ryan and Tom. And then defensively, Gary, Clark, Slayton, Smith. That's been pretty solid throughout. Wilson, Walker, McDuffie. So Quay is out there through walkthroughs. Stokes and Nixon are the corners. And then Bullard and Williams. No sign of McKinney early at practice. If that alignment seemed kind of odd to you, Herman notes lots of rotation here. Jair McKinney now in, so no concern. Packers officially waived injured cornerback Don Callis and wide receiver Rory Starkey. They signed defensive end Brevin Allen, defensive end Zach Morton, and kicker Alex Hale. So I've been mentioning poor Don Callis for quite a while now. He's dead man walking from the moment he showed up. Rory Starkey might have made a couple plays relatively early in camp. I don't think I've heard his name in a while. Plus, we know the wide receiver group is incredibly crowded. So if you want to stand out, you better really stand out and do it kind of early. And I do think everybody else, for the most part, has pretty well stood out more so than Starkey. We'll see about some of these other guys, Allen, Morton, and Hale. Again, there's just a lot of I don't think we need to read into these things too much. Like, oh, we went out and got a defensive end because we really need defensive end help. Maybe that means that such and like Lucas Van Ness is not doing good enough. So we need just freaking relax, dude. We are constantly rotating people out. We look and say, okay, this guy's gone. Well, we're not going to just not have people, so let's go out and find people. And then we find people that we like. Not positions we need, people that we like, people that we think we can maybe develop. And we hit on those regularly. It's just a matter of finding them. Finding guys that look like they have a lot of talent, and we think that with a good amount of work, we can continue to watch them grow. And that's it. They're in the bottom rungs. Brevin Allen, Zach Morton, Alex Hale. Alex Hale almost has no chance, but some of these other guys potentially being practice squad guys, potentially even 53 guys if they really show out. It's there, but they're at the bottom rung of maybe let's see if there's potential for you to someday be a developmental guy. Kingsley Enagbare is listed as being back. He is back at practice after missing the last 2, so it's good to have him. Again, probably not going to be in the preseason. Matt LaFleur was pretty clear about guys that are kind of on the fence with injuries, newly back, et cetera, probably not going to play, which is fine. We have plenty more people that I'd like to see at the position. Packers now officially working on the jet sweep handoffs, which, again, I absolutely love it. First of all, the jet sweep is awesome. I think Packer fans get annoyed with it because we ran it too much and it wasn't super effective as much as it should be. So what do? You practice it. You drill it. If this is the thing, Matt. If you're insistent on this being a part of your offense, then your guys need to learn to do it really, really well. You got to get everything figured out. Same with the screens, by the way, which I know that's a part of every offense. We got to get that down. It should not be this big of an issue. We have to really work on drilling that. So again, I'm just happy to see these specific drills as opposed to what I feel like we've seen a lot in the past, which is just a lot of random crap. You know, like I said, with juggling tennis balls and stuff, like it just nonsense that maybe to some degree translates, or it's sort of general hand-eye coordination type stuff, a lot of general type. No, let's get specific. Let's get down to the frickin' bare bones of this thing and work it out and make sure you understand every single step of what I'm asking you to do to run this. Romeo Doubs is officially today's hype man for the crowd. He's going around doing his thing. Falcons update. Wide receiver Rondale Moore was carted off during practice, and doctors put on air casts on his... Oh, that's not good, which is never a good sign. It's unclear how the injury happened, but not good. Yeah, those are... Every time I hear that, I have flashbacks to guys getting airlifted to hospitals and them trying desperately to keep from, like, amputating the leg. I'm not saying it's, whatever, but like, just whenever I hear that, it's scary stuff. And I got to say, I talked a little bit yesterday about Tucker Kraft and how, I'm trying not to downplay Tucker. He's a good football player and all that stuff. I'm just more hyped about Musgrave. It was nice to see him catch a pass and run because you forget, or I forget, I guess, how much of a freight train the guy kind of is, Again, I don't know exactly where the guy's ceiling is, but it is a lot of fun watching him. It just looks like it hurts so bad when he hits people, and I'm excited to see that. Rashawn Gary just hit Telfort with a hump move. He bowls him on the next play, but Telfort stands it up. Caden Sanilla says D-line versus O-line drills are currently going on, and the D-line is absolutely dominating the offensive line. Tell you what, why don't we take our first break? We'll come back. We've got some one-on-ones with the receiver cover crew, I guess, however you want to phrase that, from Mr. Andy Herman. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. U.S. Cellular has noticed the way we use our phones has gotten ironic. We try to put our phones down for dinner, but the menu's on a QR code. That's ironic. We hit like on social posts that we don't actually like, which is ironic. Which is why U.S. Cellular created Us Mode, to help us reconnect with each other and use our phones less ironically. A phone company wanting people to use their phones less is ironic. Let's find us again with Us Mode from U.S. Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/builtforus to get started.
This episode is brought to you by our good friends at NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. I'm sure by now you've all gotten back into your Sunday routines, but they could be even better. With NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get the most live NFL games all in one place, every game, every Sunday, and you can even watch up to 4 different games at once with Multiview, one of my favorite inventions of this decade. It's exactly what you need to catch all the action, make your Sundays more magical, and also YouTube TV is great. I got it this year. It's awesome. Sign up now at youtube.com/BS. Device and content restrictions apply. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
All right, here we go. Heath with a nice snag versus Rochelle. I feel like I have not heard a positive note about Rochelle yet. I'm going to have to go back and double-check these, but I feel like every time, because the comment I always come up with is, oh, that's not fair, it's against Rochelle. And that just always goes, and I feel like I'm saying that all the time, and now we're down to Heath. No offense to Heath, but we're not talking number one receivers. Anyways, Ballantyne with a pass breakup on Toure. Musgrave deep completion ran right past AJJ. Love to hear it. Nixon pass breakup versus Wicks. Well done. Possible hold. Well, whatever. Sims McKinney feet get tangled. That's still a win in my opinion. Bo wins easy versus King despite a hold. Excuse me. How dare you, Bo? Well, to be fair, King is more of a aggressive short area guy. Bo is pure speed. So that was never going to, I mean, that's like putting King on Watson. I mean, you're doomed there. I'm still a King guy. Dobbs had half a step deep versus Jair, but ball was underthrown. Jair pass breakup. I'm assuming that's Love, but I don't know. Heath, a gorgeous catch deep versus Rochelle. See what I'm saying? Stacked him and high pointed it. DeBose, easy win versus Green. Nice route. Again, not the top corner guy, but DeBose continues his ascent. Awesome coverage from Nixon on Watson. Nixon having a day. Somehow Watson comes up with it, but only for 2 yards. Toure wins off the line easy against Bullard. Easy completion. I don't love to see that. Davis holds on for dear life against Wayne. Pass interference called. Heath beats Rochelle short. Again, I'm telling you. Musgrave wins easy against AJJ. That seems to be a terrible matchup so far. Dobbs a slight step on JR again, but this time overthrown. Yikes. DeBose can't come up with the sideline deep ball versus Green. Swinson, nice hands catch against Evan Williams. Bo Melton just ran a really nice route, and Kalen King stuck with him the entire way and broke up the pass. That a boy. So you put him on not a 9 route, and he can handle it. Ballantyne, great coverage on Hicks. Wayne, fantastic adjustment, and sliding catch versus Davis. Wayne's a really fun player. Anders, solid. Anderson, solid coverage on Sims. Musgrave win versus McKinney on a slant. Musgrave having a day. Nice comeback for Watson versus Jair for a completion. All right, now we got our official starters for team, that is. Love, Jacobs. Oh, it's still Melton, Watson, Dobbs. Musgrave, Walker, Jenkins, Myers, Ryan, and Tom for the offensive line. Gary, Slayton, Clark, Smith. You got McDuffie and Quay. Jair, Nixon, Stokes. Bullard, McKinney. So everything's pretty normal, especially with the injury to right guard. It's everything you would expect. The only thing is that instead of Reed, you have Melton, which is interesting. Anyways, continuing. Jacobs comes up banged up after a run in team. Looked like he may be holding his hand, but he comes back after one play. Jonathan Ford has done some nice things this summer. 2 good reps versus Smith in one-on-one. Preston and Walker and Jenkins and Clark had some good work. Sean Ryan held strong versus Wyatt. McKinney, great pass breakup on a deep ball to Watson from Love. Melton shows his speed on a jet sweep. Jair comes up making the stop. And now we've got the official word. Jaden Reed is not practicing because of a calf injury. So that's interesting for a lot of reasons. Number one, obviously it explains everything that we've been seeing. But the fact that Bo Melton is next man up, I don't know. Let me just look real quick. So yeah, I don't know how that's being arranged at all. I don't know. Maybe they're putting Dobbs in the slot or something. Bo Melton, his slot percentage last year was 0%. He didn't run from the slot not a one time. Jaden Reed was our top guy at 89%. Samori Toure would be next guy up, which we assumed, which is where I would have thought he would have come in, but he's not. Let's see. We've got Watson was 14% and Romeo was 5%. So pretty odd that Samori Toure isn't just thrust out there immediately. Even Grant DeBose was 15.4%. So I don't know. I don't know exactly how they're lining up or what's going on. It's just a weird alignment to have 3 guys that I would think are definitely not slot guys, but whatever. All right. We've got John Del Rey who comes up with the one-on-ones for the offensive line, defensive line. So we'll go back to that real quick. It says, today's one-on-ones tie goes to the offensive line. Interesting. Brooks and Monk was 2v2. Preston versus Rashid was 2-0 for Preston. I think that was the opposite yesterday, so it was good for Preston. Kenny Clark versus Elton Jenkins. Elton Jenkins 2-0. Slayton and Myers split. Wyatt and Ryan split. Gary versus Telford split. Lucas Van Ness was 2-0 against Jones. Royce Newman was 2-0 against Wooden. Ford was 2-0 against Smith. Wagee and Tenuta split. We're getting down to, I don't even know who these people are. And then K.E. versus Glover. I'm not even going to try to remember who that is. I'm not interested. It doesn't matter. Let's see. Rashid was 2-0 against somebody. Esther was 1-0 against Monk. And then I don't care about the rest. All right, back to team. Wyatt, nice pressure inside. Flushes Clifford to his right. Short completion to the tight end. Some good intensity to start the team periods today. Lloyd just jogged into the Hudson Center. Come on. Didn't seem injury-related, but we'll see. Marshawn, don't do this to me, dude. So Marshawn Lloyd is injured. He comes back. He has a pretty rough day yesterday with, a fumble and a drop or something. Pretty rough, and then today he's jogging off. I'm telling you, that red shirt is just looking more and more like a real thing. Let's see. Inigbare comes free on a play action and blows up rollout for Sims. 3 straight days now for Bullard as the number 1 safety next to Xavier, as well as AJJ and Williams have played, as well as they've played. Looks like some clarity is coming to that battle. I think that was kind of always going to be the thing. Especially when Williams, I think, has been the best safety, and they're like, yeah, but Bullard wins. It's one of those things you knew was kind of a rigged competition from the beginning. Let's see. Musgrave picks up Bullard on the next play, gives Love time to hit Jacobs underneath, so they picked up a blitz, I'm assuming that means. Injury update. Inigbare is back. Callis and Stanley released. Jaden Reed calf. And then Starkey, Valentine, D. Alexander, Banks Cooper, and Jennings are all still out. So that's the update as of right now. Waiting on word from what the heck's going on with, what's his name that just went inside. All right. With Tom sitting out now, the first one in is actually Caleb Jones, so they're going to give him an opportunity, which is cool. I like Caleb Jones. I just like big offensive linemen, so I'm always going to be a fan. Dillon with a fantastic, and I mean fantastic, blitz pickup of Rashawn Gary. So much value to the team on a play like that. Meanwhile, Love struggling to find completions today. Defense is winning early. I'm not sure if that's on Love or otherwise. We heard about a couple missed throws on one-on-ones. I'm guessing that would be Jordan on those plays. Dillard and Telford alternating right tackle and left tackle series with the twos early. Lloyd comes back out of the Hudson Center. He's okay. That's good. Maybe it was just a issue with his equipment or something. Who knows? Malik Heath is down on the field after taking a huge hit. Trainers are looking at his left thigh. Oh, boy. Let's see. Malik Heath down after the last Emmanuel Wilson run right. Caden Sanilla says so far during 11-on-11 session for today, the defense has been dominant all over the field. Let's see. Brenton Cox Jr. shot out of a cannon, ends team period by tackling Howard for several-yard loss on pitch right. Haven't heard from Brenton Cox in a while. I was kind of getting high on him, and then there was some negatives about Brenton Cox, so it's good to see him making some plays. And I tell you what, I've never seen a defense make so many plays behind the line of scrimmage before. That's crazy. Several-yard loss on a pitch right. Brenton Cox making noise in the backfield today. 2 tackles for a loss against the run in the last couple of plays. These are obviously a little bit disjointed. We're just going in order. Malik Heath was run blocking on a play and is down on the ground holding his leg. He's been down for a while, just got back up and stood on it. He's limping off and clearly frustrated. Hopefully nothing too serious for Malik. Yeah, Malik he's right on the bubble. I mean, he's a good football player. He's made some plays for us for sure. He's a guy that, if you had to guess, he's going to make, I don't know if he's going to make the 53, but he's kind of on that bubble. At the very least, if there's an injury, he's first man up. And, he's come in, he's made some plays. Would hate for that to kind of come to an end because he is bubble enough that if it's a serious injury, the Packers will be like, all right, let's just, we got to Bose. We got some other options. Alex Hale, our new kicker, starts 3 for 3 on kicking, made an extra point, a 41 and a 44. Clifford with a really nice throw over the linebacker's head to Swinson. I feel like, without trying to jinx him, that he's starting to hit his stride here a little bit. He hasn't thrown an interception in the last, 3, today, yesterday, and family night, so far anyways. Tom getting pitted against Clark on 3rd and 9 and holds his ground. Impressive. To give Love time. Impressive rep, I'm guessing, to give Love time to find Watson. Paul Brettel says offensive line so much more stout with Tom out there, which is great to hear because we need answers. We need solutions to what's been going on. Devontae Wyatt just shot through the line to force Love to throw it away deep. Love to see it. Haven't heard as much Devontae Wyatt as I would like. I know he's not getting a lot of first-team reps, so he's not getting as many opportunities. Same with Lucas Van Ness. A lot of the plays you're hearing, he's on the 2s or 3s or whatever, so he's not getting as many opportunities. But they're just names I'd like to hear a little more. If I was to be picky. Speaking of, Lucas Van Ness, stunt inside and bats a Love pass at the line of scrimmage. Play before Love connected with Wicks on 2nd and 11 crosser. Hey, Malik Heath is back in. He's doing some special teams drills. Great news. That looked bad. All right, good. Especially when you just hear news about a guy getting carted off, so that's kind of like fresh in your memory. And we always know, like, when one of the worst signs about an injury is when somebody's really angry. Like after they get up. Aaron Rodgers was angry when he knew that he had done something. Guys get mad because they know basically either their season is over or this is something really serious that just happened. So it was also scary to hear that he was really angry when he got up. You never know, but sometimes these guys know, like something bad just happened. Nagler says, with Reed out dealing with a calf injury, Nixon, Toure, and Dobbs are taking turns at punt return. Jordan Love out there drilling the nets again. Then we got some news for the Colts. Colts wide receiver Josh Downs has suffered a high ankle sprain during practice today. The outlook right now is that Downs could miss about a month, but the Colts are sorting that out. Packers play the Colts in week 2, so that'll be something we need to keep an eye on. My wishes continue to get granted. Andy Herman says, Wyatt's 3rd big play of practice, this time a sack of Clifford. Huge day for 95 so far. I love it. Wes Hodquist says, twos open up with Wyatt sack, Bullard playing nickel, AJJ and Williams deep. I like that. Get him out there. We just need Oladapo out there instead of AJJ. No offense. I'm just saying it would be kind of cool. Nice blitz pickup by Lloyd in team. Not as good as Dillon's earlier, but that'll be a key part of his development. I'm glad he's back and he's making plays. Again, if we're granting wishes, I wouldn't mind seeing Lloyd do some stuff here. Clifford with limited time on 3rd and 6, and Brooks tags off for the sack. So Brooks comes up with a sack. Good to hear because he was 0-2 against Royce, I think, which is not a good way to get in fans' good graces, at least. Aaron Hagler says Robert Rochelle is having a good camp. So there you go. I just ragging on the guy that I've never heard a good comment about Robert Rochelle. And Nagler's like, you know who's good? That Rochelle guy. He's out there doing stuff. Tell me, man. Somebody tell me. Here we go. Herman's got some. He says, Rochelle, nice diving pass breakup against DeBose on a throw from Clifford. Nice little toss play to the right for Jacobs. He looked really good on those last couple plays. Pocket collapse on Love. Would be sack. I believe Cox was in there, but Gary may have been in there as well. So multiple sacks. You got Jacobs making some plays, and then a diving pass breakup by Rochelle. So there you go. Rochelle's still in the mix, and apparently I've been mistaken that Rochelle has been fantastic. It's just been sticking in the back of my head that this guy's getting picked on a lot, but there's a lot that we don't see also. Not everything gets repeated. I mean, you're watching guys like footwork and you watch them play. You're not going to necessarily tweet every single thing. That's why there is sometimes a disconnect. I'll see that once in a while, like at the end of camp, like so-and-so had a great day. It's like, you guys didn't tell me one thing about the guy. What happened? But, you selectively tweet out kind of the big stuff. Anyways, Nagler says, Packers using Brenton Cox as an inside rusher with the ones. Interesting wrinkle. That is interesting. Love gets Walker to declare the hard count. Checks Walker blitz, and Love hits Watson for a nice gain in seam as hot read. That connection continues to catch fire. Jordan Love making some nice throws to Dobbs, Watson, and Wicks during the 11-on-11 session. Love finds some rhythm now, back-to-back completions, this time Wicks versus Jair. I hate to bring it up because I'm just feeding the angry dogs who are really mad at Jair, but I will say I wouldn't mind it if Jair had a pass breakup once in a while. There's a lot of caught versus Jair, caught versus Jair, caught versus Jair. So I know that's the red meat you guys have been begging for, and everybody's mad at Jair. I get it. But I'm not going to deny what I'm seeing. It's just a whole lot of like caught versus Jair. I'm just saying. But, there is a lot of defense winning and coverage sacks and all that stuff that, again, is not going to get tweeted out. But just as an observation, it would be cool to see a pick by Jair, anything relatively positive. McKinney all over a Dillon run to the left, if I didn't say that. All right, why don't we take our final break? We crossed the 30-minute mark. We'll come back, we'll finish this bad boy out, and, do all that kind of stuff. By the way, head over to my Twitter, go over to X, check out my profile. If you look at the pinned tweet at the top of my profile, you got a really good opportunity to take care of some people in need. We've got the Holtz family. They huge Packer fans. It is the grandparents of a listener to this show. Reached out. Obviously a devastating thing. We've done a lot of work in the past trying to help people out. Thanks a lot to, as I said, Paula Sheridan. Scott Henning also got in there and donated $5. I really appreciate you guys getting in there. I'll be sure to give you a shout out if you put your name on there. I'll try to remember to check that daily. But there's a lot of us, man. If we can give $1, $2, $5, whatever you got laying around, just to show some fellow Packer fans some compassion, show them, how powerful this Packers fandom thing really is and how we rally around our community. And I know we do a really good job of that. I've been slacking and trying to promote this, and I got to kind of ramp that up a little bit. But be sure to do that. And, again, I'll give you a shout out on the show if you put your name in your donation there. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back. Start this thing off right. Devontae Wyatt in the backfield again, and Love has to dirt it. Herman says Wyatt in the backfield again. May have been a busted screen pass, but he was there immediately. And there we go. McKinney interception over the middle on a Love pass intended for Musgrave. I think McKinney's picked him twice now, if I'm not mistaken. Came out of nowhere again. So we haven't had a pick in a while. It's a little bit sad that it's on Jair, but I'm glad to have McKinney in the defense. Super smart football player. Herman says McKinney interception on Love. Think it was tipped slightly by Quay. McKinney and Wyatt in quite the battle for player of the day. Let's see if there's any further context here. Schneidman says Xavier McKinney picks off Love on a pass high for Musgrave over the middle. Tipped off Musgrave's hands, and McKinney came down with it. Quay Walker looked to be shaken up on the play. Appears to be all right on the sideline. So yesterday was maybe Love's best day. Today might be one of his worst. Not that he's been awful, but you're just hearing a little bit of, this is kind of what we heard a little bit more last year. A little bit high, a little bit short, a little bit here, a little bit there. A little bit rocky today, I think, for Love. Herman says, you know who's quietly having a really nice camp? Aaron Mosby. Comes up with a play almost every day. Just tipped a pass on Pratt rollout. Another guy I haven't heard a ton about. Here we go. I think this is our first note. Keton Oladapo comes up with a pass breakup in team. Nice to see him get some time and make a play. Wes Hodquist says, red zone period. Dobbs touchdown. Stop me if you've heard this before. Same joke from Kyle Malzahn. Tell me if you heard this before. Jordan Love connect with Romeo Dobbs in the end zone for a touchdown during team drills. I mean, that if nothing else, that is obviously his deal. Ryan Wood says Romeo Dobbs just toasted Xavier McKinney on an out route into the end zone, and Jordan Love did not miss. A 9-yard touchdown on 1st and goal from the 9. Schneidman says Love hits Dobbs in red zone drill for a touchdown. Dobbs makes a diving catch near the right corner, mobbed by the offense, and wide receiver coach Jason Vrabel hopped on top. So defense has been winning the day, but offense is getting jacked up on something like that. And here we go. Clifford to Toure for a touchdown in red zone. Nice find by 6, and AJ easy catch run for 83. Flag on the play, though, not sure what. I don't care. It does. Hey, Clifford's getting better. Clifford's not throwing picks. Now he's throwing tutties. Let's go. Nagler says, false start by the left tackle. Whole offense was celebrating while Hafley was yelling for a flag, which came comically late. TJ Slayton with a big-time run stop in red zone. A little flex after from 93. Man, I think guys are starting to get me excited, man. I'm starting to get a little excited about the guy. Don't do this to me. Don't start getting my hopes up. I've already written the guy off as being like, he's fine, but we got to find something better. I mean, I've committed to that. It might as well just be my shtick. It's like Justin Fields and Slayton's not very good. I mean, that's, I don't know, but I can't help it. Dillon runs a wheel route out of pony look and catches it for the first down in red zone. A.J. Dillon with the touchdown to wrap up red zone, 11-on-11 session for today's practice. All right. I don't know if we're talking the same play, but it was described as a first down and a touchdown, depending on who you're asking. Oh, here we go. Ryan Wood says, from the 20, Packers offense pinched it into the end zone twice, sharing starting defense in red zone period. A.J. Dillon takes handoff from Jordan Love for an 8-yard touchdown up the middle on second. Aaron Nagler says, Packers offense just ran classic split back with Jacobs and Dillon. That is a pretty thought, man. It really is. It says, Love hits Dillon out of the backfield on an angle route. So beautiful I could cry. Zach Cruz comments and says, was this under center, pro set, or shotgun pony? Aaron Nagler says, under center, it's happening. So we got some under center split back action going with Dillon and frickin' Josh Jacobs, who is by himself, 225, and he's the tiny guy of the group? Like, that is beautiful, man. Hale makes from 33 and 40 right, but missed wide right from 45 after a high snap from Bowden. You know. I'm telling you. So Hale officially 5 of 6, Joseph at 41 of 48, and Carlson at 38 of 48. Hopper now breaks up a first down pass to Wilson. I'm telling you, man, and just every time you hear Hopper, he's out there making plays. He's shooting into the backfield. He's breaking up passes. I'm not mad about it. Wooden gets a sack on second down of 2s in 2 minutes. So Wooden now redeeming himself for the rough one-on-ones against Royce and has made now, I believe, his second big play of camp. And we got a full breakdown here from Andy Herman. Minute 20 left, 1 timeout, down 3. Ball at the 30, 1st and 10, 2's up first. First play, Hopper with a pass breakup. Second play, Wooden with a sack of Clifford. They called it incomplete. Clifford complete over the middle to DeBose, but they call this one a sack. Brooks was in there. Wow. Clifford incomplete deep to Turay, gave him a jump ball. Defense contested, incomplete, and turnover on downs. Give him the completion, man. Come on. Brooks and Wooden, though, both getting in there. And I probably have already confused them about who was doing what. It doesn't matter. I don't know. I can't keep it straight. I never will keep it straight. Aaron Nagler says, Wick's putting on a show today. Dude just gets open. Doesn't matter who's on him. DeBose he reminds me of Romeo Doubs, at least in terms of the way he was described compared to Romeo. He's kind of a big body guy. He's got surprising speed. Not a speed guy, but surprising speed down the sideline, and is just a go up and get it guy. Decent route runner, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. It's be fun to kind of check it out. All right, one's up next, same situation. Love Musgrave complete for 9 and out of bounds. Love to Wicks over the middle for a nice gain. First down, clock ticks. Beautiful throw and catch from Love to Wicks downfield and out of bounds. 1st and 10 in defensive territory around the 20. 50 seconds left. They still have the timeout. Love to Watson, back of the end zone, but Evan Williams outjumps him for the game-ending pick. Huge play for Williams, bad decision for Love. Again, rough day for Love. Who throws his second pick, but hey, Evan Williams with a phenomenal play. Williams, I guarantee, has the most picks in camp so far. Guy has 3 or 4, I think, on Clifford at least. I don't know why nobody else has mentioned this, but Kyle Malzahn says, Packers rookie Evan Williams intercepts Jordan Love on a pass intended for Watson. Watson went down and hasn't been up. Whole offense is on a knee around Christian Watson as he gets looked after. Watson is down. Attended to by trainers, now sitting up. Oh boy, Christian Watson down after rep in 2 minutes. Went high trying to catch a pass, hasn't gotten up. Skipping ahead, please, Lord. Watson is up, limping, but walking on his own. Christian Watson is now up, walking off the field on his own power. Packers ended practice abruptly after the rep, but it appears Watson is okay. Huge bit of fortune there. Well, let's not just declare it. Ay. Schneidman says, Watson was rubbing his left hip. Seems to be something on his left leg that's banged up. He seems to be okay as practice ends. As Christian Watson took a hard fall after leaping for the pass in the end zone on the last play. Stayed down for several minutes, but then walked off the field. Appears to be okay. So we'll see how she goes. And Zach Cruz says, Packers defense has so many interceptions this training camp. Matt LaFleur said he wanted more plays on the ball. Jeff Hafley said takeaways would be his number one priority. You usually get what you emphasize. It's exactly what I've been saying for how long now, right? This is, if you, and not just emphasize in words, but go out and practice it and train it. And that's when things happen. Not just because you say, oh, it'd be sure would be great if we could get more interceptions around here. All right, and we got Watson. He's perfectly fine. Ryan Wood had him. He's got all his pads off, everything. He's walking just fine. And then he walks over to the media and gives 2 thumbs up and says, we're good, we're good, we're good. So everything's fair. Everything's good. We're all right. But anyways, that's about it for today. We got a couple days off, so we don't need to be doing the play-by-plays and whatnot, so we can cover some ground here, talk about some other interesting dealios that are going on. And then, again, man, we've got a preseason game coming up in just a couple days here. So make sure that you subscribe, because we're going to be live streaming this bad boy. So please come hang out. It's not like you have to just watch the stream. You watch the football game and then just hang out with us. You can have it on the phone, have it on a laptop, tablet, whatever. We'll just hang out. We'll have a good time. But you can find it on YouTube if you're a YouTube person over at Packernet Podcast. Otherwise, on X, it's Pack_Daddy. Pack Daddy is my thing. We'll be streaming it on there. And then on Facebook, not a ton of people use that for the streaming type stuff, but if you're over at the Packernet Podcast Facebook page, you can find it there. I try to remember to share it to the group. I forget to do it. There's a lot more people over there in the group, but bottom line is, if you want to come hang out, well, I'm not going to make it hard on you. It'll be easy enough to do, so I look forward to seeing you there. Otherwise, have a good rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
To the green and the golden nights, I've packed my heart with memories for all those cheers and fights.